Hey burners, I'm here with Red Dragon Nutritionals janitor, national sales manager. We're very lucky here in Western Australia. He's flown all the way over just to see us, Ryan.
Hey guys.
Hey, and we're actually here to give Dragon's Breath pre-workout the test.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're going to give it a go.
We're going to be on camera for 20 minutes and you will actually see how it affects us as we go. This flavour is the mango passion fruit, which is your flagship flavour.
It's amazing.
People loving it.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
cool.
getting amazing feedback from everyone, so let's try that one.
Yes.
Let's do you first. All right,
Okay.
so 2 scoops?
Yes, please, sir.
All right, okay. So do we heap the scoops or are they flat scoops?
Flat scoop. So
Flat
the
scoops,
good thing
okay.
about our scoop is actually very accurate to our serving size, so you
Good.
can't under or overdose accidentally.
Just a flat scoop.
Yep.
Now, the reason I'm only going 1 is I am quite sensitive to stimulants, and 1 scoop is going to land 125 milligrams of caffeine, 100 milligrams of teacrine, which is another form of caffeine that the body doesn't get used to, as well as 50 milligrams of the awesome feeling stimulant Dyna Mean.
Yes.
Double that for Ryan. So we're talking 250 milligrams of caffeine, 200 teacrine, and 100 Dyna Mean.
And this should get interesting because that energy blend will start kicking in a couple of minutes.
Right, yeah, Dyna Mean is very fast acting. So how long does it take?
4 or 5 minutes, it will start to enter the system. You start to get that slight increase of euphoria and energy blend, and we should really start to see
Things
some
can get weird in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right, let's try.
We're going to have some fun.
Let's do it. All right, so I've put 200 mils
200
of water,
mils.
and
Yep.
yours is 400 because you're a double scoop.
Yeah, and
Yep.
you'll notice as well, I don't know how important that is to you, but there wasn't much shaking in that and it's completely mixed.
It is mixed, and that's great with a high dose, and we'll get to it, of the aminos for performance. Most pre-workouts, because they do use some stimulant raws, will taste a bit bitter and have a bit of a funny taste. So
Can have.
let's try this bad boy and see how it goes.
Cheers.
Cheers, let's do it.
Let's go.
All right,
What do you reckon, Paul?
that is the best pre-workout taste I've ever had.
Yeah.
I quite like sour things.
Yeah.
It's not overly sour that's going to put you off, like some ingredients like carnitine can be overly sour. But that's got a real nice level of sour just to roll it off. Nice level of sweetness, but the flavour is amazing.
The way I like to describe it is a lot of the flavors at the front, so you get a great kind of mango-y, passiony hit, but then towards the end, it kind of ends clean and way more refreshing. And I kind of just want to keep drinking it.
I do.
I think there
I do too.
I was listening to you, but I had to have another sip because I want a bit more. And
You know, the last thing you want before you go to train is go, oh, I've got to drink that pre-workout, hold the nose, get it down.
Right.
But when you say, oh, I look forward to this, I just want to drink it,
Yeah.
I'm going to like it, it's going to go down easy, and
Yes.
I'm going to get a good feeling, but we don't know yet because we're going to wait.
oh,
and see
we
how it
don't
feels.
know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't
You've
had
never
this
tried it
every
before.
day since we've made it.
Yeah, true. So this is on something with a bit of food. Sometimes you'll take it on an empty stomach before the gym.
Yeah.
It'll just hit a little bit harder.
Yes.
So we'll have a slightly milder hit, but we'll see how we feel. If the time is up now, we'll see how we feel over 20 minutes. Now, we'll just go through the ingredients while we're waiting for that to kick in.
Sure.
Now, I'll start with the double scoop.
Okay.
So what we're landing is full clinical doses.
Yes.
And we've got 6 whole grams
6 whole grams.
of citrulline malate.
Yes.
So citrulline malate, I know what it does. What does it do, Ryan?
So it's in a
Tell
lot
our
of
viewers.
pre-workouts these days because it's one of those great ingredients that just gives you a full pump. Blood flow, what that means for anyone in the gym, whether you're running or lifting weights, it gives you longer endurance. So you'll be able to, the pump is what pumps you up and gives you the more energy so you can run, push, whatever, longer.
Exactly, yeah. Anything with a full dose of citrulline is going to do that, and you do need the 6,000 milligrams at the full dose. However, 1 scoop landing 3,000 milligrams or 3 grams,
Yeah.
still really big pump.
Yeah, and I think a good thing to note, when we talk about clinical doses, that's an amount that's been proven to work 100% of the time. But what we have to factor in is the individual use. And sometimes, in this case, you don't need all the time a clinical dose to get an effect. It depends on what ingredient we're talking about. And in this particular scenario, if you're a first-time user or if you're not used to these kind of supplements, you'll actually get a great result, which is good and exciting because it means you don't have to double scoop it just to get that pump.
Exactly, yeah. Well, and like you said, the 6,000 milligrams is a clinically proven dose, but it's also just the clinically trialed dose.
Exactly.
So with 3,000 milligrams, you still get a pump.
Yes,
So
of
it's
course.
just that they didn't run the trial on that amount. But
Right.
So I like to explain that ingredient as, it creates arginine in the bloodstream.
Right.
Obviously, it goes through the kidneys, creates arginine, which will then convert to nitric oxide, which hits the endothelial walls of your blood vessels and opens them up.
Yes.
So you're getting what we said is the pump, but you're also getting glucose delivery, waste removal, more nutrient delivery. You can recover better.
Right.
It's an amazing ingredient to put in a pre, and it needs it, and this guy delivers at a full clinical dose. The other ingredient that really every pre-workout needs is beta-alanine. Now,
Yes.
beta-alanine gives you that tingly feeling, that
Yep.
paranethesis feeling.
Right.
What's that all about?
Well, a lot of people sometimes when they try it, they'll get those tingles and they'll think, oh my God, the stimulants in this are insane. I'm getting this numb, tingly
Yes,
feeling
they
all
think
over.
it's the stims.
And it's
Yeah.
actually not. It's a non-stimulant ingredient, and it hangs out in the bloodstream. And when you're training, when you get that burn sensation, especially if you're doing weights or if you're running for a long time and you get that burning sensation, that's a buildup of what they call lactic acid. Now that lactic acid's a bit annoying because it makes everything hurt, and you probably want to stop the exercise or the routine. So the beta-alanine will be in there and removing that a little bit more efficiently. So it takes a longer time to get to that, I guess, threshold of burn. So you can do more reps, more time in the treadmill or whatever you're trying to do. So that's really what kind of beta-alanine does from a functional side.
Exactly, yeah, and it's a no-brainer when you're training. The
Right.
whole idea behind training is you're trying to get heavier weights with
That's
more
right.
reps.
That's right.
And if that can deliver,
Right.
then you need it in a pre. So scientifically, beta-alanine is bonded with histidine and carnosine.
Right.
When it hits the stomach, it'll split. So you get the histidine component, which is a great amino acid, but we do it for the carnosine.
Yes.
And that's what buffers that lactic acid out. So
That's right.
as the lactic acid is being produced, carnosine will bond to that hydrogen and just buffer it out. You just don't get that fatigue.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I love it. Yeah.
And if it's something that you're fearful of because you've had it once or twice before and you don't like those tingles, I think a little pro tip would be just have your pre-workout closer towards the workout. So don't have it half an hour before
Yes,
you go.
5 minutes before.
Because
Yeah.
I'm just as we're sitting here now,
Okay.
I'm feeling.
Are we 5 minutes in yet? We are
5 minutes in.
It's just kicked in. I'm starting to get tingles, me, on the lips
Yep.
and here.
Yep.
That's where I'm getting it.
So I've got
Yeah.
some lips. I feel like I'm growing a tingly mustache.
Oh, yeah, you didn't have a moustache when we started.
Right,
It's
and
actually
it
happened.
wasn't you tickling me on the back of the ears, Paul?
No,
Right.
I was thinking about it.
Okay.
No.
So I've got a bit of, like a small amount of tingles here, but I'm quite adapted to it.
Okay.
And I get a little bit here, and then I get a little bit on my arm.
Yeah?
Which is, I'm not too sure.
Well, good blood flow.
Good blood flow.
Yeah.
If you're not a fan of the tingles on the lips and the ears, if you have it closer towards your workout and you start moving, your blood flow will increase and it'll be pushing it to your arms and your legs, and
Yeah.
then that beta-alanine will be in the bigger parts of your body and you'll get less tingles.
So I just need to move around a bit
Just
if I
need to
don't
do
like
some
it.
push-ups, I think.
That's it. All right, cool. Well, I feel like I want to. I think as well,
Yes.
I'm getting that energy boost.
Right.
I'm starting to feel it now.
Right.
And I had some food beforehand. So I think that Dyna Mean is kicking in
Yeah,
for me.
I'm feeling a bit chatty. I'm listening to you, but I want to talk as soon as you finish speaking.
This is going to get interesting. We're just going to be talking at each other.
Yes, yes.
All right, so what should we do next? Should we move on? What have
Yeah.
we got? BetaAlanine Anhydrous.
So we're still in the endurance blend. So
Okay.
this is our third ingredient. BetaAlanine Anhydrous is, again, it's another ingredient that's going to push more blood into the muscle. But in this case, the byproduct of BetaAlanine Anhydrous will be increased strength. And not something that you'll just be able to go grab a heavier set of dumbbells and lift all of a sudden. But if you're doing, again in weights, if you're doing a set of 12, you'll be more powerful in that up movement. So if you're doing bench and you get to 8, where you normally start to fail and feel a bit more fragile, BetaAlanine Anhydrous can literally push you through.
So you're not sort of struggling. You can push through it. You get the nice
You
stuff. Yeah.
physically feel, like the way I would describe it in a non-scientific way is you feel more confident with that strength.
Perfect.
Which you then can do 1 or 2 more reps sometimes as well. And you can do it with better form and better muscle contraction, so you can activate and hit the right areas.
Perfect. All right, so a really good ingredient, obviously, to put in any pre-workout.
Yeah,
And
great
then
ingredient.
next we have the potassium citrate. Oh, I just want to go back to beta-alanine. It's the full clinical dose, 3.2 grams.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And next we have potassium citrate.
Yes, potassium citrate.
An electrolyte. But why are we putting that in there?
So this is a little bit of a unique ingredient that we add in there.
Yep.
Being an electrolyte, being in the pump and endurance formula, when you're training throughout your workouts, whatever you're doing, you start to obviously dehydrate. That's why you've got to keep up hydration in your body. If you dehydrate, especially in a hypertrophy workout, where I'm looking to get as much maximum pump as I can, if I dehydrate, I lose my pump. So you might be that person where you're like, man, I was training and oh my God, my chest was hanging off me. And as soon as I left the gym, it just went away. It's probably because you're dehydrated, and potassium citrate can keep water in the muscle a little bit longer. So you can keep a pump a little bit longer. And also, not being dehydrated is a good feeling.
Yes, yeah, you don't feel that crack. When you're feeling dehydrated, you feel flat, etc.
Right.
But you're right, if you can keep that pump, you're keeping more blood flow to the area, more nutrition or nutrient delivery, and more waste removal. So, and the electrolyte will do that.
Exactly, yeah. And obviously there's more therapeutic benefits to that, especially in the kidneys with the flushing. But we're using this specifically more for muscle endurance and pump.
Okay, my face is now just tingling like crazy. I've just hit it and it's going all over my forehead, which I love the feeling personally.
Same.
Now it's in my ears and it's going all the way down here and through here. Whew, that's good. All right, so how long? That's been 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes, and I am feeling that beta-alanine kick right now. Really behind the eyes.
But nothing too overwhelming. I still feel myself. I've got all my normal thoughts. I don't feel like...
Which is weird
I've
anyway.
just had,
no,
there's very weird thoughts you guys don't want to know. But what I'm feeling is a good sense of energy. I've had just a double scoop. I'm a little bit more caffeine and stimulant adapted. So if you're first time, I wouldn't go the 2 scoops like I am, but I never fell out of myself. I'm not distracted by the stimulants or what's happening. I still feel very centered.
Well then, we'll go back to the mental acuity blend because let's talk about the stimulants, the multi-stage energy blend.
Yeah, while we're feeling the stimulants.
While we're feeling it. So we've got 125 milligrams of caffeine for 1 scoop for myself and 250 for you. Now, you said it's not too strong stimulant-wise to change the way you're thinking or get you crazy. Some of these pre-workouts are landing at 400 milligrams of caffeine per serve.
And usually from one single source.
Yeah, one single anhydrous source, not from multiple sources. That's gonna hit and it's gonna change things.
Yes.
It's gonna possibly burn out adrenal glands, whereas a double scoop landing 250 milligrams of caffeine, it's still a nice strong hit, but not gonna send you up and then crashing or change anything too drastically in a bad way.
That's kind of what I'm feeling right now is I feel that energy, but it's not overwhelming.
Well, I've got 125 megs of caffeine and I'm feeling that energy. I want to train. Yep.
I like to highlight where and how we've sourced our caffeine. So caffeine anhydrous is a great source of caffeine. No complaints from us, but what we wanted to do is we wanted to give you guys a little bit more of a raw source. So the green coffee bean extract is where we get our caffeine, and that's 98% caffeine. And it still has all the natural micronutrients and antioxidants that were in the bean. So, we all have coffee, and that bean coffee has been roasted and burnt and stuff. And that's great for the coffee flavor, but even then we lose like 38% of the caffeine. So your coffee, a normal coffee is about 60% caffeine. And that's because it's been burnt down and roasted, which is beautiful. I'm Italian, I love my coffee. But in a pre-workout formula, what we're trying to achieve is a boost of energy from the caffeine, but from the most raw source, so it's more stable. Anything from nature, as we know, we encourage anyone to get anything from nature because it's how it's supposed to be, and it's a little bit more stable and it's a little bit less harsher on the first time user.
Yes, and I love the feeling. You can actually feel the difference when you're using a green coffee bean extracted caffeine as opposed to a pharmaceutically manufactured caffeine in a facility. So, and so it's natural. I love it.
Yes.
So that's where the caffeine's from.
Yes.
Next we have teacrine, which I mentioned is a form of caffeine.
Yes.
Analog that the body doesn't get used to. So when you drink 1 coffee, then you need to drink 2 coffees, 3 coffees. We all know the nature of how the body adapts to stimulants.
It's never as good as your first coffee.
Exactly. So the thing though with teacrine is that, as you know, let's tell our viewers, is that the body doesn't get used to it. You'll still get that same effect every time, that stimulant effect every time you take it.
Yeah, and that's something that we've chased, right? We have our first source of coffee or something, and we're like, I want that again today. And after we go throughout a week or in our pre-workout, the way I describe it is I describe it with tubs. So some of the older formulas I used to use back in my day, once I finished a tub, if I was using 1 scoop, if I bought my second tub, now I need 2 for the same kind of feeling. I was always chasing that high. Whereas with teacrine, because it's a blend of 2 different herbs, to give your body the same hit of caffeine, but instead of your body adapting to it, and knowing what's going on, your body kind of almost forgets what happened. So when you have it again, it's like first time experience. And you can get through a lot more tubs before you adapt. So you still will adapt, but it might take you 3 or 4 tubs now before you need to up it a little bit. instead of one. So that's better value for money and it's better energy and you have way better workouts.
Perfect. Next, Ryan, we
Yes.
have Dyna Mean. So that's a new ingredient stimulant.
Yes.
Feels amazing, kicks in very, very fast, but it's also a very clean stimulant.
Yes.
Yes.
So-
So tell us about Dyna Mean.
Well, so Tyrosine is actually from a company called Compound Solutions. We love that company. They make some
good stuff.
amazing ingredients.
Yeah,
And
you
anyone
feel
that
it.
knows that will look for pre-workout. So this is not something where we're saying, hey, our pre-workout's the only one that's got these ingredients. If you see Tyrosine or Dyna Mean in any pre-workout, I can guarantee you it's going to be a lot better experience for you. And that's what it's about, encouraging better information about products. And with Dyna Mean, like Tyrosine, it's less adaptive, but the difference is the Dyna Mean's a very fast, hard hitter. So it's not going to take you up too high, but it's going to do it very quickly.
Yeah.
And that's what I think we're getting early on in that blend, was that really kind of euphoria, energetic.
Well, we've been 15 minutes since we've actually had it. I'm still feeling that euphoria energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling it a lot more in my head because I think we're a little bit static. I want to move. It's kind of, I'm not sitting still at all, am I?
This is a good sign for a pre-workout. And then finally, we have the mental acuity blend. So we've got Tyrosine and Hoardine as well. So Tyrosine, a fantastic ingredient to put in a pre. Can you tell us about Tyrosine?
Tyrosine is just one of those things that your brain will naturally use. You get it from your foods and stuff. But if you have, there's two different types of levels. You can have like minimal amounts to keep you just feeling good throughout the day, and you can have what they call optimal amounts. Now, if you take optimal amounts into consideration, that will overwhelm some of the stresses you have, like working out. You'll use a lot of your happy hormones up, and then you'll feel a little bit of a flat low. Tyrosine's in there to keep your mood up. And in this scenario, like if I'm not feeling good, I'm not into my workout, I'll purposely chuck that in there and the Tyrosine will boost your mood. So instead of you driving to the gym feeling sorry for yourself, you'll be radio blasting windows down, singing out the window kind of vibe.
That's it. And you know, the last thing you want to do is be at the gym feeling flat and unmotivated.
Right.
You know, and so if you're going into that gym workout and you know you can change that just by putting some Tyrosine in a pre, which this guy has.
Yes.
Bring it on.
That's right.
Perfect.
Yep.
And then you've also got your Hoardine as well.
Right, so Hoardine obviously still in the mental kind of area, but we're going more nootropics now. So in this particular scenario, we're in the gym or we're in a workout or playing a basketball game, it can be anything, and I'm getting tired. So what happens is as I get exhausted, my brain gets a bit foggy, I get a little bit distracted, and sometimes, especially in like a sporting game, the better team will win if they can play the whole game at the best of their ability. So Hoardine is going to allow me to go into a deadlift or a sporting event when I'm tired, when I'm feeling foggy, with absolute focus. I'm only thinking about that bar and me, and I'm about to lift this, and that's all that matters. That's going to give you that tunnel vision, and it's going to keep your thoughts very clear. And as you can see, I'm getting really excited because I'm thinking about my workout that I want to do.
Bring it on.
Because I take my workout serious. Yeah, so that Hoardine ingredient is amazing for that. And at a 1 scoop dose as well, if I've got a bunch of emails to do in the morning, I'll just sneak half a scoop in there, and it kind of gives me that tunnel vision to bang out work as well.
Just for this product, half a scoop, just to get that Hoardine in and the other stims. Boom.
If you wake up and it's Monday and you're like, I'm not feeling it, sneak a half a scoop in there and you'll be like, I can work now.
Yeah, well, not only just the stims, the blood flow and all that, getting the blood through the body on the Monday morning with those stims, that'll work.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
It's good. And a nice tasting drink to boot.
Yes.
So we've gone through all the ingredients, Ryan. And so just to recap, we've got an amazing pump and performance blend with your citrulline malate. You've got your BetaAlanine Anhydrous as well as potassium citrate.
Yep.
We've got the mental acuity blend. So you've got your Tyrosine as well as Hoardine, and then your focus, which is your green coffee caffeine.
Yep.
You've got your Tyrosine and Dyna Mean. So all round, it's just a perfect all round pre-workout. It's not too strong that it's going to bug you out, but you're going to get awesome pumps, great power, lactic acid strip, focus, energy, mood. So it just ticks all the boxes.
And just a side note, I think we're around the 20-minute mark right now.
I'm pumped. I want to train.
In the last minute, I just went up about 400 levels.
Yes.
I'm feeling it's insane right now.
Well, I'll be honest with you as well, because obviously we're from Fat Burners Only. We've got a lot of pre-workouts. I'm feeling it too.
Yeah.
Honestly, as a what's the word? I'm impartial.
Right.
I'm ready to train. That
Yeah.
worked way better than what I expected.
Yeah. So if it's any of
Yeah.
a bit of a guide, if you're 20 minutes out from a workout, that'd be perfect time to take it. 20 to 15 minutes before a workout.
Yeah, so for me personally, I would take it either 20 minutes before or even 5 minutes before, because I had that focus and the energy 5 minutes, and I can get through that workout, and by the time I'm ready for that warm up, by the time I'm ready for the weights, bang, if I'm feeling like this, I'm good to go.
And that's kind of where you want your pre-workout kicking in, because you don't need it on the first couple of exercises. You've probably got all your energy, but as you start to fatigue and push yourself and you get to those limits where you're at, that's when you want the pre-workout really taking you up another level. So like Paul said, if we had this 5 minutes before we trained, we'd be in the middle of our workout right now.
Yeah.
And I'd be absolutely killing it.
Ready to go.
Oh,
exactly.
I think we need to train.
I think we need to train. Yeah, I feel it. Yeah. So just a bit of a recap as well on the flavour. Flavour, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I would put it as a product I would drink just for the taste.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I'm super biased, obviously, because it's obviously our pre, but you put it to the test and that product's flavors, some of the best I've ever had. It tastes like an amino, basically. It doesn't taste like it's a pre-workout. It tastes like a lolly.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's great.
Recap as well, energy levels, I'm feeling an 8 or a 9.
Right.
If I was giving it a 10, I'd probably crash out. So I'm enjoying the 8 or a 9.
Yep.
Pumps, I'm sure I would feel when I started moving and training, because the ingredients are clinical.
Yes.
So honestly, if you haven't tried Dragon's Breath and you want a clinically dosed, amazing tasting, tick all the boxes pre-workout, sitting here right now, 20 minutes afterwards, would highly recommend Red Dragon Nutritionals Dragon's Breath. Bring it on. So yeah, thanks for coming and having a chat to us. Really enjoyed it. Maybe I'm enjoying it just more than I usually would, because I just had a pre-workout.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching, Burners. We hope you got something out of that and learnt a bit about the Red Dragon, Dragon's Breath.
Dragon's Breath.
Let's go train.
Let's go.
Woo!